Hello, my fellow South Carolinians. I want to start with a thank you for allowing me to take part virtually in this Florence County Democratic Party event and to bring my greetings to one of the most historic parts of our state, the PD region. My name is Catherine Fleming Bruce. I'm a resident of Columbia and Richland County and a candidate for United States Senate, a seat currently held by Tim Scott. In the brief time I have before you today, I want to talk about our current status, what's at stake, and why I ask you to elect me as your Democratic candidate for this seat during the upcoming primary. Since I announced my candidacy on Martin Luther King Day of this year, we have seen the ongoing assaults on democracy and civil rights, both here in South Carolina and in Washington. While some relief was allowed to pass into law through the infrastructure bill from DC, we have seen the dogged determination of colleagues from the other side of the aisle to block funding so desperately needed and so long overdue to the people of our state. We've seen the refuse to show up for Senate hearings, to confirm Biden nominees, and to vote no on the acting Federal Reserve Chair, Jerome Powell, who could act in that capacity to help address inflation and other pressures to the economy. No to Ketanji Brown Jackson, the first Black woman nominated to the US Supreme Court. We've seen them say no to passage of the Voting Rights Act named for their own late colleague, John Lewis, and no again to relief for restaurants still struggling due to the pandemic. And no again today to HR 350, the Domestic Terrorism Prevention Act of 2022, which includes measures against hate crimes with white supremacy and Nazi roots. Here at home, our numbers in the South Carolina legislature are too low to pass much of the legislation that we need or to block the legislation that we don't need. We've seen the abortion bill pass through committees, redirection of COVID relief funds to other projects, and seeing South Carolina become a constitutional convention state, which could return our state to pre-civil rights era days. In addition, we have the Russian invasion on Ukraine, which has killed civilians, threatens the stability not only of Europe, but of economies around the globe, including our own, while raising the specter of nuclear threat. Our senators have responded with inflammatory remarks or attacks on our president when we should be standing together. So in short, we are at war on multiple fronts, and I'm asking you to send me to serve. I'm ready on day one to serve in the US Senate in this moment of global crisis. I'm ready to advance federal bills that serve critical local needs. I'm ready to build our economy without sacrificing rights and protections. I'm ready to preserve, protect, and defend democracy and our civil rights. I'm ready to pass legislation that will protect our elementary, middle, and high school students and other gathering places from deadly assault. I'm confident that my years of dedication to public service with partners in and out of South Carolina, my deep roots in this state, my democracy building work done with civic and community leaders from around the country and Americans working abroad, my global governance work during the United Nations summit meetings, all of these have prepared me for this seat. I've drafted legislation, penned successful grants, advocated for adequate budgets and programs that would meet and support community needs. I've also served as leader or foreperson of a state grand jury for South Carolina that investigated and indicted corrupt sitting legislators. All of these things lead to me being the seasoned candidate before you who is right for this moment. And this is no ordinary moment, ladies and gentlemen. Make no mistake. Just talking about infrastructure and broadband and buildings, this is not that moment. It's a much bigger moment calling for a much bolder act of voting. So I ask you to make the bold choice and vote for me in June. Please go to my website, catherineflemingbruce.com, to sign up as a volunteer and to make a donation today. It would be a privilege to serve as your 2022 Democratic nominee. Voting actually starts on May 31st. That's Tuesday, May 31st. So you can go early without any excuse or reason and vote until June 10th at your local election office, county office, and other satellites that they might identify. And then on June 14th, you will go to your precincts to vote. I know that when South Carolina Democrats work together, we win. So I thank you. Let's move forward boldly because fortune favors the bold.